there's a lot of bass in my voice. It just doesn't translate on this device. Guys, you are listening to the Straight No Chaser podcast. On tonight, we have Bahar out in the Americas. We have Giselle out in the Grenadas. Okay, fine. Should I start over? Fine. Giselle, do it.
No, ma'am.
That's it? I have to do it?
Continue.
We have
Continue doing what you're doing.
Bahar, you want to say anything, introduce yourself, or just say hey to the peeps?
What's up?
We have Jizzy, aka Jiz, aka Short Stuff, aka 630, aka Matilda, aka
Roti, pretzel, things that fold. Sheets.
Good night, everybody. You shut me up at Matilda, friend. Lovely.
I apologize. We have Rohan.
Hi.
That aka Curly Tails, aka your favorite mixologist, aka Boobs Always Outside, aka Yummy, Beautiful, Glowing. And then you have me, Ayana. I like to think of myself as a big man. What's up? Good night. All right, guys. So I know that many of our followers and listeners sent in their ideal date so that we can pull it in our fishbowl. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. So Jizzy, we're going to give you a little drum roll, and Jizzy's going to read out for us what our audience thinks is the ideal date.
Okay. So the first one says, more so my ideal date, an activity first, mini golf, bowling, painting, to help break the ice and get both of us relaxed, then dinner and a couple drinks. So, do something that will get them kind of in the groove, something that's not necessarily just the both of them. So mini golf could be like a thing, bowling, lavo lanes if you're in Grenada, painting, sip on paint. And then, do something, get some dinner and take some drinks, So if you're looking to go on a date with a girl in Grenada, take her to lavo lanes for some bowling, your first date, so y'all could talk, right? Not me though, don't take me.
Jizzy,
another time.
I don't bowl.
Okay.
I feel like a full day. I feel like a full day for a first date, that would be too much.
That's a lot, yeah. Because what if
for someone that you're in a relationship with, that's nice.
Yeah.
I would do it. If you want to bring me and do something, like I would do it. It's not bowl it.
But I
the
also
bowling is actually annoying. Like it's loud. I can't do it.
Yeah, it is loud. It is loud, and I real competitive.
Yeah.
Y'all know me. I real competitive. I would be trying. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about the relationship after that, brother.
Yo, you would actually have to like you for that, because otherwise he'd be scared. He'd be like, I'm never playing another game with this girl. I would never. Nothing again.
You would never bring me out again.
All you have to do is play Uno with her and he'll know real quick.
Nope. I'm not playing. I've known Giselle for how many years? Since when?
We all avoid.
I'm not playing Uno with this girl.
For what? To be fair. Okay. Fair enough. And anybody who has ever played Uno with me and I have used curse words, I don't apologize. You should have known better.
I saw a meme today that with a group of friends playing Uno, and the wild cards were those wild cards where you can write the stipulation, and it was draw 25 or get vaccinated. No, we're not having this discussion, but that is what was on the card.
That's wild. That is a wild card.
Yeah. Okay, but also draw 25. For me, a first date, I would prefer my first date isn't a one-on-one first date. I prefer my first date with someone to be a group first date. So I want to observe you. I want to observe how you interact with people. And I also want to not feel pressured to interact with you. I want to just be able to suss you out. And I want to be able to have other people to bounce things through. I prefer to have buffers in the situation. So like for me, a first date is, let's go to this event, or let's go to this bar, or let's go do this group activity. And then maybe the second date, once I realize, okay, I could fuck with this person, then the second date can be more intimate. And intimate, it doesn't have to be dinner, because I also don't, I'm not, probably won't be ready for dinner on the second date, but maybe it might be, let's go on the beach, sit, chat, reason, on a little drive or something like that. A reason, nice code, you know. You know what that means, Giselle. We sit on the beach and a reason. But first date for me, definitely I would feel, I don't want you to feel, I want you to be your best self. And your best self is not going to be under my microscope. Your best self is going to be having fun, not necessarily thinking about me, maybe thinking about me because I'm in the room, but not feeling the pressure to perform your best self. I want to see you relaxed in your element. I want to see you interact with your friends, my friends, or whoever it is that's in the room. I don't want you to feel like you're in a competency test. I just want to vibe with you as low pressure as possible. And then, you know, if we want to move to something a little bit more pressurized, then
the words are killing me. Like
Pressurized.
She,
What are you, slow cooker?
she lose me.
What are you, pressure
You
cooker?
know,
I'm talking
you
in
want to be
Pressurized.
tenderized like a piece of pork. Oh,
Slow cooker,
Lord.
pressure cooker, pressurized.
I didn't mean that.
she lose me from reasons.
From
So
the
by
reason.
Ayana's
because
statement,
I triggered you. Because I triggered you.
you did. I just saying that from Ayana's definition, I have been on many of those dates.
That sounds
With
like
you
a hangout.
guys.
That's what it is. I wouldn't want to
But
do
that's
that.
what I want to
you
do.
to know
I
that
want to
you-
hang out for the first time. For the first time, I want to hang out. Everybody's
Okay.
for me, for the first one, I want to hang out. I want to be in a low pressure situation, and then let's take it. I want to avoid the awkwardness at first, because I know that first time that you meet is gonna be like me trying to be
cute.
my best Diana. I want to be cute. And I probably won't be witty. I wouldn't jump out myself. I wouldn't be inappropriate. I wouldn't say the things that I say because I'm performing. And as much as I consider myself a genuine person, I also understand that when you're under observation, human nature is to kind of clean the shit up. So I don't want to clean shit up. I want to be among my friends so that Giselle could say things, and Ro could say things, and we could say things, and Smells could say things, and people could say things, and I could jump out myself, and you could see me in my element with my people.
Personally, may I first? May I first? Does that
Go
mind?
ahead, Rohan. Go ahead.
Personally, as your friend, don't bring us. Don't bring us for. You're the
That
shit,
could be,
man.
you know
You
what that's
will
gonna
bring
turn
me.
into? That's gonna turn into you on roller skates and us running around you with champagne.
But
and
that's
second.
okay.
I will be
too.
telling him, "Oh man, not shit."
That's okay.
That man
That's
would
okay.
never come back. He would go and tell his friends, you see them girl and them girls just talk shit about man to their face and tell them about they ain't shit and they don't, and how they penis small. And
Yes, but also if he could survive that, Rohan, then he deserve the second date, because who knows? On the second date is me and you. I might jump out myself. I might jump out my pants too. First, you need to pass the first date.
So you would be the person that wouldn't mind that got not left at the Fed, but where your partner went into VIP as long as your friends were there. You wouldn't have minded that, what our listeners shared from last time.
I will be where they are, and where they are, there I may be also, like Jesus.
I put up my hand before. I put up my hand before because I don't like that the first name to say things was mine. I understand why you would. I understand it.
Good night.
Because I once told a man the first time that I met this man on a one-on-one, even though there were people around, when's the last time he sucked dick? I did that. And I was
Hold
joking.
on, wait a second.
So
Don't
what
listen.
happened was,
You as a man out?
Rohan, you were right next to me.
Was I working?
No, ma'am.
Oh no. Roll. She was where we were.
Yeah, I was where y'all were. And
Today.
on meeting the man there, we were sharing a thing, the things that you just put everybody to share. And I was like, yeah, so before I do this, when is the last time you sucked dick? And I was laughing. And so I understand why you would say the first person to say things was Giselle, but I don't like.
For the
That the
people
person-
looking, Rohan is frozen. For the people who are not looking, sorry, our listeners, Rohan is frozen. Her mouth is open. She's gonna respond as soon as I shut up, but she is frozen, and Baha is just in the cringe face.
Yeah, because what she talking about? What she talking about?
Rohan,
What she
you
talking
were
about?
there. Rohan, you
It
was
matter-
there.
it
It was
matters
right
what-
there.
Yes, but Giselle, how you can say you don't like it? I don't care if you don't like it. You is who you is.
I don't
You
like that
is
as the
who-
first name. She could have called your name first.
No, because Rohan don't react unless Giselle is there. Otherwise, Rohan does hush him out and just say things quietly. Giselle, you just bring him out myself.
Well, you're
And
welcome.
together we
bitch.
jump into hell.
Watch Poppy and them.
H-E double.
Okay. In Giselle's defense, we don't jump into hell. We have already
We take the
decided
bird.
that we are going. So we have decided to make the trip comfortable. So we have VIP tickets, and we definitely have those cushions that prevent you from getting hemorrhoids. You know, the ones that make the journey comfortable.
All your blessed night, eh? I've gone out of here.
I
Them on the
definitely,
podcast tonight.
I've got the free drinks package, so y'all covered. I feel like there's no jumping into hell at this point. Jizz, come on.
There's
At this point, we like
6:30 into hell.
It all inclusive? They get
Bahar.
accommodation thing too? Because
They did not hear you either. I hear that. She
I
said
heard her.
Giselle is 6:15.
I heard her.
And for those who don't know, at 6:30, every chance that I get, sometimes.
Giselle, we also call Jizzy G or pretzel. Because all she
If
does
you
or
are from
roti.
the
'Cause all she does
Americas,
is fall.
exactly. If you're from the Americas, 6:30, think of a clock. Think of where the 6 is, and think of where the
How we
30.
reach here?
Now, Giselle usually
What?
lives
The
between
first
6:15 and 6:30. Now, however, when she get drunk now, she aims to go to 6:45, and that's where the friends need to come in now to prevent her.
That's when she head to the ground of a certain place we just go. But we were talking about
That we
something else.
went. That we went. We did not go. We don't go there anymore.
Well, that's a lie.
Because no,
Also, we
she
going-
said the
we
people
going next
saw
week.
with her hair. So like
I did not.
she did. I had to
Okay, so the next
Yeah,
next
let me go.
submission from our dear listeners, because y'all hateful. The other one about the ideal first date would be ideal date. I don't think it's a first date that we asked for specifically. The ideal date would be dinner at a fancy restaurant, not KFC. So this is a listener. Big up yourself. Then drive to the coast where we would sit on or lean on the car, sit in or lean on the car and look at the stars, talking about anything and everything from past experiences to goals and ambitions. Yeah, so I think that's really nice as well.
I like
the
that.
last time I watched Stars with a man, he
Did you watch
denounced
him?
that he was ever doing anything with me. So a special fuck you go
Okay, sorry. That was I didn't mean to make that song.
the man who does watch Stars and wants to, connect. That's toxic. You just wear a white hat. You just go to the club with a white hat. And you probably have white toe polish if you just wear toe polish. Because that's some toxic ass shit. Blessed night.
And what he
everybody.
does do, he does look at the stars and what?
Them stars, man, and them they'll just be like, you know, these stars are aligned the way our love was aligned. Or some dumb shit like that, and it'll fuck me up. And you would have me thinking, oh my God, he knows me. Oh, he knows like what I am. He knows who I am. And then he would deny that we ever had anything. So, you know, good night, Queen's Park. On that.
You know what, fellas? On behalf of my friends and I need you to do better. I'm not saying that you're bad, eh? I'm not
But don't
saying that
use the
you're bad.
stars to fuck him up.
Don't use the stars to fuck Rohan up. Use the stars to fuck me up. And we go. So
Do what?
sorry.
Do what?
Listen, cut that out, eh? Cut that out.
Yeah, only overdoing it.
Editor, because no, but
editor,
honestly,
so we sorry.
I am joking about that last part that I said about me because.
But that was
leave me
funny
alone.
though.
It was because we funny, but like honestly, leave me alone. But do better. You understand? If you're going and denounce my friends, just leave them alone, please.
From the jump.
That's all. If that's all. If you're going and denounce me, know that I denounce you first. Moving right along. This next person said picnic or adventure. That person is straight to the point. They either want to eat in the grass with ants or they want to go and hang off the side of a cliff. Either or.
Actually, what I
That's not
heard
bad.
was I want to eat you on a blanket versus. Sorry, did I
Eat you on a zip line?
I want to kill you. I want to eat you on a blanket or kill you. I don't understand.
I never said kill you. I stopped. I stopped because I saw y'all's faces. So I just maybe I was the only one that heard it. So never mind.
But either way, I hear it too. That's a nice vibes right there.
I'm down for that.
With ants.
I appreciate a nice picnic.
I like a picnic too.
Speaking of Nick, before I do this, I literally where we were tonight before we came on here. We were at Esther's bar in Grandland, so big up Esther's and everybody. Kami, Kimani, big up yourself.
Hey guys,
Nick, hi Nick, and Nick,
and Nick,
and Nick, and his friend Harry. They actually said, you know what, big us up on this one.
Did they really?
So big up yourself. They really did. They said they're gonna listen. I added them on the Instagrams, and I'm gonna send it to them when we release it.
They're
So
so sweet, honestly.
very hard. Nick said he saw it on
And so cute.
internet, and he loves it. So this one is pretty long, so I'm gonna read it out for you. It said, da da da. I don't know if I want to read this or not.
oof. Is it triggering?
I just want it to be called a date, and that actually makes me feel really special. That's the beginning, right? That's the beginning. I just want it to be called a date, and that makes me feel really special. And I would add to this, as a person who don't date, like a person who lives by that. That is really nice. If you tell a woman, especially like in this day and age, I want to take you on a date, and you actually mean it, and you're not trying to just get in her drawers because you could just say that. That's real nice. And I applaud the person who was vulnerable enough to say that, even though it's anonymous. Like he or she just wants it to be called a date, and it will make them feel really special. To add either romantic chivalry, flowers, dressed nicely, breakfast, dinner at a cafe, a restaurant, or something fun or challenging. I don't know. Like a game day, cards, board games, a live match, the beach. Once I know that the day or time is just about us, just enjoying it, I'm good. So whoever you are, big up you for being able to say that. It don't matter what it is you're doing. Once it's about the both of y'all and y'all enjoying it together, that's perfect. And I would say that's my date. That's my ideal date. It don't really matter what you're doing. Once there's you and there's me and a little bit of alcohol, maybe we're good to
A
go.
little bit.
Yeah,
I
because the last time
mean,
I went on a date with plenty alcohol.
Oh,
I
I
What
can
do you do,
imagine
girl?
that.
didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I peed in a
What do you
bush.
say?
Definitely peed in a bush. The fact that we talked for like a full year after I peed in a bush on that first date, big up you, sir. Big up you.
Bush is no big deal. He shouldn't even have a problem. If that man had a problem with you peeing in the bush because he bring it in the bush,
He
then
didn't bring me in the bush. We had to stop in the bush for me to pee because we were drinking on the road. But also, you know what he did? He peed in the bush next to me.
that's a
Big up
lot.
him.
listen, I think that we underestimate the guys. Listen, guys, pick up y'all.
Definitely.
I
Big
feel
up
sometimes
y'all.
we don't give y'all as much credit as y'all are due because I
That's
peed
very true.
on the man's whole floor, and that solidified our relationship.
I mean,
If
that
you all
was,
saw the first episode, you know what she'll be talking about.
and if you don't, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. 'cause
Definitely go back.
full
Please
story.
go
Definitely.
back and look at it. I peed on his entire floor, and
Yeah.
he
That's
still looked
solid.
at my heart and not the color of my urine.
Stop it.
All right.
You know
Lord,
what? You deserve a timeout for that. Yes. No,
look,
Rohan, you're
Rohan
not
just
on
going
timeout.
on.
Ayana, take off your camera because you're on timeout. No.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
off.
She had to go on time, more dog. She had to go on
No,
time.
take it off. Take it off.
Because what is that?
Thank you. Thank you. Because no, I've been put on timeout for less. Ayana, Hannah, right? No.
Eh,
So anybody who's
No.
listening and
Guys,
Yeah,
I
shall
want
we
to come
explain this
back.
Ayana's
timeout
on
concept?
timeout and she
No.
has her camera off. She cannot watch us, but she can watch us, but we can't watch her because we are very upset.
Yeah. And she can't talk either.
Yeah, Ayana.
No.
It's
Yeah.
our
But also,
interpretation of a paper bag over your head.
Yes.
Pretty
exactly.
much. Or sit
But
in
you
the
know what?
corner.
Thank you to all the persons who sent in their stuff. And we're going to read out the others at some point in time. We're going to put some content on our different pages. And while we have the timeout for Ayana, let us just point at our page on Instagram at straightnochaser.podcast. And when you click the link in our bio, you're going to get our link tree, which takes you to any streaming platform you prefer: Spotify, Apple Music, Anchor, wherever you want. And the YouTubes, because our videos be on YouTube now. Hey, you can see our faces while we say all the things that we say. Yo, buzz. So thank you guys. And of course, we'll be sharing. And if you want to send in anything, your suggestions, your stories, anything that you want, send it to us in our DMs, in the comments. We'll be looking through it. So send it to us and we will definitely share as many of them as we can. Ayana, you can come back now.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to my
everyone.
podcast.
Welcome
Thanks
to
for
our
having me.
podcast.
Yeah.
This might be a great time to segue since y'all,
Do you like a virtual hug?
No, don't give her no hug because you know what she say.
hug right now, I real good. Because listen, save the hug for after because I'm gonna jump out myself again.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
so
no problem.
timeout pending.
Timeout is always pending because we drinking and I am myself. So as long as I am myself, then I will say things, It's the bridge that keeps our friendship together. Me saying the things and y'all putting Giselle on timeout.
But
That's
Giselle ain't
usually
gone
the case.
timeout yet. It's really just you that gone timeout for this
I know.
entire
This is
time.
the first time I've gone on timeout in a long time.
We
It's
still have some
very
time on
true.
the show.
Thank you.
Giselle says
Okay.
things more often, but you just say some out the time and things. But
All right.
We
Let me be
progress.
devil's advocate since I'm already on timeout.
First time. Go
First
ahead.
time on timeout. So since I'm already in the naughty corner, let me ask the naughty question. So
My answer is the same, eh?
you go on this date with this man, right?
One time.
One time you observed him, you reasoned with him, you entered his
heavens? Tell me enter his heavens.
you entered his heavens with him.
You entered
And
his
you were
heavens.
able to observe his mind. You were able to see the inner workings, right? And hear him rationalize his higher heights and speak to the inner man.
Let me tell you something, Jan. Let me tell you something.
I know, I find
Sorry. I just tried to trigger Giselle.
I feel like you're romanticizing this whole
trying
thing.
to-
My good sis Yads really sound out all the trigger words and all the ancient things men have said to my Rasta friends. And I am
Thank you, all of them.
Listen,
all of them.
let us get
you're
back
missing-
to
you're
the
missing
topic.
one word.
Ladies, it could be so simple. Let's get back to the outline.
You're missing one word.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yep. So
There we go. All
let
of
me
them.
ask you something. So you're on the date with the man. I am sorry. You're on the date with the man. Vibes going well. Maybe it's your first date. Maybe it's your second date. Are you having sex or not? Like the vibes are real nice. Listen, he has quoted the Bible for you. And now you are a pool of water.
Nah, Ollie, I am
I'm
taking
going on that
time
time
out.
out for the rest of the rest of the
Nah.
episode.
I'm taking the time out for Ayana because no.
She wants to go.
No.
She wants to go.
Nope.
Yeah, no, because that man. Ayana mean she coming here to disturb we peace.
The piece in all.
Okay. I'm not playing games.
Problems.
Okay, the point is he has thus far displayed exemplary behavior. He has done everything right, and now you are, for lack of a better word, wet. Are you going to have intimate relations with this gentleman or not? Are you going to say, okay, I want him, but I'm going to wait until 6 months or a year. I'm going to wait until he is officially my man. Am I going to wait until the third date or the fourth or the fifth date? Are we going to fuck on the first night? Do I have like a strategy where this is concerned, or am I going with the flow? Like, what is in your head at this point? You're on the date already, and imagine it is, maybe it's not everything that you imagined, because they never really get it 100% right, but many times they get very close. So you're very close and you're feeling things. You're fucking, I ain't fucking.
We fucking.
I mean, there's no right answer, right or wrong answer to that. As
There's no
for
right
me, it's
answer.
like, if you feel comfortable right here, 30 minutes meeting each other, go for it. But I will say, make sure you're not doing it for like, oh, he said all these nice things, so that means I had to. No. And sometimes you won't get, okay, backlash is not the right word, but you may get some type of reaction if you don't go forward. And that person, man or female, might say like, well, I did this, and ting, like, and now you're not putting out. At the end of the day, it's whatever you're comfortable with. I don't think there's a rule of waiting 6 months, waiting till marriage, because it could be shit then, it could be shit now. But as long as you're comfortable, I think go for it.
I definitely had sex on the first day before. Like, he was cool. We had a good time. He's smart as hell because he wanted to watch a football game. So he was like, well, let's go to the pub. And I was like, no problem. Went with him. He was watching the game. I don't know. It's very stupid when I do it, but like I don't really watch it because I really don't. But like I also, I'm a dumb girl. Whatever.
Now I find you know enough about it.
Crucify me.
You're not dumb, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're stupid.
But I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh, like explain the game to me. Anyway, he was cute. He had a nice car. We had a nice vibe. I told him like, come back. I did like, my little grooming things. Came back and we fucked. It was a good time. Yeah, big penis.
And good for you.
Good for you, baby. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. I have also.
If you were disappointed, I also would have been upset. But
He could have worked on the rhythm. He could have worked on the rhythm. But
it might have been nerves. It might have been nerves.
Might have been the nerves. But
Listen, like the Jamaican bobsled teammates have to have a mantra. Feel the rhythm. Feel the vibe. I can't remember that last time.
Feel
It's
the
bobsled
bobsled time.
It's bobsled time.
No, feel the rhythm, feel the vibe. Jamaica, it's a bobsled time. That's
Nice. That's it.
my
I
favorite
should
movie.
have
You
I
played
love
have to
that
that.
have a
movie.
mantra. You have to have
Jamaica,
a
we are the
mantra.
bobsled team. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
We went last time watched that movie like
I've also.
yesterday.
Nah,
Yeah, we were just talking about
that
that the
movie
other
bad.
day. I
Oh,
love
really?
that movie so much. I'm gonna go watch it after this.
So funny.
Cool runnings. I like
It
this
feels
song.
right. It feels right. You go for it or
Mhm.
you don't. Like I went on
It
one date
depends
with him.
on what you want to do.
Yeah, I went on like 2 days with another guy. We never kissed. We never slept together. Not that I didn't want to, but I really, really liked him, and it made me like extra shy. So it's just like whatever. But we still talk. I guess we talk to both of them. We're cool.
Extra shy when you like somebody. Never heard of
Teehee.
it. Okay. Stop it.
Alright.
I've also had the sex on the first date, and I've had the sex on like date 5. It depends on what you're feeling at the time. It's
Mhm.
not. I don't think that there's a particularly right time. I guess is what you believe. But for me, whenever it take me, it take me. I would know if I want to from the get go, right? I would know if I want to from the get go. And if the conversation don't make it nicer, then it's not going to happen. Definitely not. But it's when when and where it hold here is for me is when and where it hold here. Because where it hold here, it go hold here. And for the people who are not from the Caribbean and you don't understand, whenever like you get that feeling,
And it
When your
overwhelms
vagina tingle and your penis feel a little tingly too. All right. Yeah, don't mix matters with the people then, no man.
yeah, when it take you. When the feeling hold on to it, then it hold on to it, and that's good. So that's how it is for me. But if my mom is watching, only when Jesus says it's right.
I've never sent my mother this link. I'm not doing it.
My mother does watch things.
Same.
I know. You know what? Hi, mommy, because I know you're watching it. So, or
Hi,
listening
Auntie
to it. So,
Pedro.
yeah. So, mommy, these are my friends. This is the things that we do.
also,
And
this is your daughter's man, George.
that's my boyfriend, George. He's
For
an
all y'all
angry
listening,
cat.
that's Ayana's cat.
Yes, Ayana is holding up her cat to the screen right now, and he is so
He has
beautiful. He's
very
angry.
intense eyes.
And if you've ever looked at any of the guys that I have had situations with, they look just like him.
I feel like this topic is hard for females though, or people, women. I mean, maybe for men. I can't speak for that, but I feel like if more women talk about this topic, I think the safer women will feel to talk about it as well. Because I think people think like, oh, if I give away how quickly or how not quickly I did something, like I will be labeled as people say, let
Exactly.
me say a hoe, right? So for anybody listening out there, you heard it from us. Like we don't think there's ever a right or wrong time as long as you feel comfortable. But let's have that
Exactly.
conversation. Let's keep that conversation going past this podcast. So my
Yeah.
I
opinion.
And we use the word hose really nicely too. Like,
Yeah.
B's my hoe,
We're each
Rose
other's
my hoe,
hosts.
Ayana
Exactly.
is my hoe. Y'all are my hoes. And so I don't ever mean
Our
that
heaven
in a
on earth.
derogatory way. Exactly. Yeah. It's
I mean,
exactly what
I
that
can
means.
admit to struggling with the question on a deeper level. Like for me, having sex on the first date in my early discovery of myself as a woman, um, I didn't ask myself, how do I feel in this situation? Which is what you should be asking yourself. You should be asking yourself, how do I feel? Do I feel safe? Do I feel aroused? Do I feel like I want to take this further? You know, not do I feel like I need to perform for this person? Do I feel like I owe this person this access to myself in this way because of what I feel like they've done for me or XYZ? But in my earlier 20s, my question was never, how do I feel? My question, honestly, was how, I don't want to say how would Jesus feel, but I would always base my decisions off of religious morale. And I would always weigh the decisions that I made based on the expectations of my religion. And that is how I would make certain decisions. So even if I was into someone, I wouldn't pursue because I felt like it would make me a sinner, a bad woman. It would make me unclean in some way. And it would mean that I have failed myself and my future partner by sullying myself in this way, by exposing myself and losing my purity. So I had this concept of maintaining purity, and that somehow I lost value if I had sex with someone. And the more people I had sex with, the more value I lost. And so I had to learn that it wasn't so much about what other people thought, but what about how I felt. And if in this moment, whether it is that I met this person today, or because I've been in situations where it was a day or it was a year, and I had to learn to really tap into how I felt and really listen and honor me in the situation, and not allow all of these external influences to determine the action that I was going to take, because we sometimes underestimate how much influences the external environment has on the decisions that we make. And for me, religion definitely was a block for me, a mental block for me for a long time. I had to get over a lot of things. There were some things that I really thought I would never be able to do. When it came to my own self-exploration, I was like, yo, God don't like this. Or, I also felt like, and this is something for another day, I also felt like, there was some honor in martyrdom. And if it is that I was making this big sacrifice and doing this big thing, that I would be rewarded later. So I would deprive myself of certain pleasures in the name of religion and in the name of being a good woman, because somehow society has ingrained us has influenced us to believe that part of womanhood is suffering and sacrifice and all of these things, and trying to show everyone how worthy you are and how good you are and how pure you are and how untouched you are and how virtuous you are, and all of the things that we've been taught to believe that a woman should be. So for me, having sex on the first date was something that I had to work towards, because I had all of these mental blocks that I had to overcome, and most of it stemmed from religious views. In some ways it helped me take things slowly. And by taking things slowly, I unconsciously gave myself time to learn myself and to tap into exactly how I was feeling. I didn't feel this pressure to do things because people were doing it, because I had this great hesitation. And then when mind and body came together, on the fucking streets now.
What's the name of your
Such a
street
beautiful
friend?
thing that she answered that.
What's the name of your street friend? What's the name of your street?
I saw this so beautifully, and I was like, yo,
Yeah.
I was like, it's getting too heavy.
No, but I was thinking.
Throwing a comedic twist there. So I just had to lighten the mood, but not to take away from what I was saying before. Honestly, it took a while for me to get there and for me to overcome all of those obstacles, because you really don't realize how much all of these external factors, and the fact that your mom is telling you, don't go, and you see how many young girls in the community do this and do that, and you don't want to be another statistic, and all of the things that you tell yourself, not knowing that there are safe ways that you can experience pleasure, explore pleasure, and say yes to yourself, and say yes to all of the things that you actually want without, I don't know. So yeah, it was a process for me.
That's a major conversation about sex and how we view sex, though, because I mean, us in the Caribbean region, we are heavily influenced by the church and by so on, right? And society, but society is influenced by the church. So like, that if you have sex, people are gonna think that you're a whore, So that's something that I had to deal with too, because I was like, but I also feel like I never thought about it as much as maybe you would have, because of our different denominations. So I think it felt a little different, and I think that's a discussion that we probably should have, so we could like kind of bounce things off. Yeah, and like figure out things. So I think that's a lot of things I didn't think about, but yeah, it's society, it's how we view sex, and like why we view sex the way. That's a very intricate and interesting conversation, because you have to like get down into like the very core of how we even got to where we are, you know, and how we as a group, at least for us, have moved on from the things that we've had to like unlearn, you know, to feel okay to just kind of be like, yeah, if I want to fuck him, I want to fuck him, you know.
Right. And I think, sorry, go ahead, Ro.
No, you go ahead, please.
No, I was just saying, I think that same idea, I think it was like the voice note I sent a couple of weeks ago about like the concept. I mean, I know we'll have a conversation about this later, so I won't go too deep with the concept of like virginity and have it taken away from us, or this is something that we really need to protect. Otherwise, as Ayanna put it, we've sullied ourselves, right? And it's that idea of that, you know, speaking on societal expectations, as you said, it is backed by the church. The church is a very big thing. Religion itself is a very big thing. Everybody has their own views of different things, but I think with that, the expectations have come from, you know, women need to be a certain type of way, or, you know, or like, for example, even taking it down to like, you know, the color of like white means purity, you know, or, you know, like if we think about it, right, like a virgin in white, if we think about all those fetishes that are out there, that I want to be with the virgin, people are paying. I remember there's a girl who decided to fund her college, sold her virginity, right? And big ups to her. She got a full college funding out of it. Perfect. I think that was a great way. That was a great way of saying a big fuck you to society, right? Like, well, if you're gonna put me this constraint, I'm about to make my money.
On the internet, you can buy a
Yeah.
hymen on the internet.
Yeah.
By what?
You can buy a hymen on the internet.
What do you
That's
mean?
crazy.
Like a piece of latex or
So
something?
so imagine, so you know, like a diaphragm. It's a
Right.
diaphragm that's designed like a capsule. And so when the female is penetrated, the capsule ruptures and releases a red pigment that's gonna act like blood.
That's fucking weird.
Because there
Yeah,
are many
that's
cultures,
not
I mean,
cool.
and we're still living in that age where virginity
their own.
is very, very highly valued.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, and I think that's where it's just all coming from. Just
Yeah.
restrictions,
I
restrictions.
was listening to what Ro and Jans was saying about like her perception as somebody who is highly into their religion and stuff, and then preventing you from doing it. And then there's the part that, from that same standpoint, that kind of pushes you into it. So like you're being sheltered like for all these years and all of this. This is not my personal experience, right? But you're being sheltered for all these years, and you've been told like you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's a sin to do this, sin to do that. You're watching your friends having a good old jolly time, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck this. I'm not ready for it. Like you don't think about that. Like I'm not ready for it, but like I want to do it because. And so they just put themselves, these girls put themselves into these situations where, you know, I'm gonna be doing it. And literally that's what they say, doing it, and all of those things. And so there's that end. And then there's also the end of you're not sure of how you feel at the time, but you feel like you're obligated to do it. You understand? Like I reached this point, like I have to. There's no like turning back. So for more of the religious persons, it's like I've already had the thought, I can't go back now. I already sinned, so I have to. Then there's a girl that's feeling pressured, like the guy is already like basically on top of you, you're not feeling comfortable. I can't say no now. Like I would look like a tease. So like I definitely have to. They have so many of those situations where you're not sure of what, like yourself, thinking about other situations, and you're, well, I might as well. And the I might as well situations, those are the worst in my mind,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like you feel like you're obligated to give this thing up. Why are you feeling like that? Are you like Ayana, like are you unsafe in the situation? Like
Yeah.
are you unsafe, or do you feel like just because you thought it like 2 seconds ago when he was kissing you over here that you felt it nice, and I'm pointing to my right side, sorry, and then he started to kiss you on your left side and you're like, who dry up like this to her, right? And but you dry up and you're like, well, he might kiss me on the right side again. I might as well. Or he might be over here and like legit saying, how you gonna stop? Like, why you would stop? Like, you
If
have
I
so
can,
many of those situations too.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I
That,
can
like I
add
said, have not
to
been my
that,
personal experience, but yeah.
if I can add to that, like I don't think that I necessarily like my first time, I don't think I necessarily wanted to, but I was pressured in a way where it wasn't that it was, oh, we're already starting and like, we want to continue. It was, hey, I want to have sex because I'm accustomed having sex. Either I get it from you or I get it elsewhere. And at that age, I'm like, I don't want my
I don't want to lose
boyfriend.
my
I don't want to
boyfriend.
lose my boyfriend like to somebody else who
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, I don't want to be in that position. So I felt like I had to. So it wasn't I was necessarily pressured in the way of like, you have to give it to me. It was more like very subtle. It's either you or somebody else. I mean, I end up being everybody, but
Ooh.
when they get on, whatever. But like they're very subtle things. And I think a lot of people feel guilty about doing things and like not thinking that like a lot of things we are very much pressured into without it being like a full like moment of type of situation.
Yeah.
And I think our closed-mouthedness, if that's even a word, about sex and like anything
No.
like that, and like exploring your sexual self it's so suppressed. All of it is suppression. Like we've
Absolutely.
suppressed like all of our original thought about what we want to do and based it on like everything else that everybody's saying, that we have this buildup of people not being able to say, well, I choose to do this. Even the people who are like super promiscuous, if I mean, and then who really is, whatever, it doesn't even matter. But like at a young age, when you like know of the promiscuous girls, it's like you usually have to kind of take a look and see how it even started with them. Were they heavily in church? Were they prostituted at a young age? Were they, and like this is very heavy, but it's so many things that it could be. Were they sexually abused by a family member and they're now rebelling? It's so much suppression of things, all these different angles that we take into like getting into sex sometimes, that you kind of have to sit and wonder like the origin. And I keep saying like the roots of it and the origin. Like it's just
I
Yeah.
such a
totally
thing that you have to look
understand.
into, you know?
Yeah.
It happened opposite. Like there were girls in the church from me who, in the church that I went to, who rebelled, and as soon as they were able to have access to the streets, they did everything.
Yeah.
And for me, it went the opposite way. I was so indoctrinated that I felt like the more I deprived myself, the more points I was gaining. So the more I withheld pleasure from myself or certain experiences, the more virtuous I was, the more worthy I was, because there's something about redemption and sainthood and sufferation that seem to go hand in hand. And I'm not saying sufferation as a trigger word
Yeah.
for I'm not saying, but I mean literal, like we have somehow been taught that the greatest people and the most saintly persons and enlightened persons are persons that have suffered a lot. So I thought that in suffering and depriving myself, that I was somehow getting more points, right? So I didn't do what I wanted to do. I was a late bloomer. I was always exposed in that I had friends who did a lot and shared experiences, and I would support friends and go in and do their shit. I got you, girl, whatever. But I wasn't going.
Yeah.
I wasn't going because I felt like somehow, yeah, the more I withheld from myself, the higher my ultimate reward would be. in this life or the next. I don't know. It's just amazing how even when I look back, how thoroughly indoctrinated I was. But even then, when I finally did have my experience, my first experience, I was lucky to have a beautiful one. And I would always say that. Yeah. Man's, I had a great experience. I was not pressured into anything. I waited a long ass time. He waited a long ass time because in my mind, I needed to be pure until marriage, until my urge and his urge was too much for both of us to bear. And we did things. And even when we did things, I didn't lose my virginity. He was very patient. He was like, yo, let me eat you out. And I was like, you're going to put your mouth on my privates? The shock. And yeah, even though I was fully aware of what was supposed to happen, because it wasn't like I wasn't looking at porn and all of the things. I was fully informed. I probably had too much information, but still, it's the shock of the act when you're in it. And you really realize how much of yourself you have to expose to this person. Like, this is your first time showing anybody in the world this much of yourself. I mean, your parents have seen you, they've seen you naked, but they have never seen you in this vulnerable state. You're naked, your skin out, your face. I mean, you're as vulnerable as could be. And so that also is something that is part of like that dynamic that I had to get over. And I was just lucky that he was very patient and he told me my vagina was beautiful and we didn't have to do anything the first couple times. He just like ate me out and I was like, oh, and yeah.
That's nice. I got fingered on the beach. All right, moving on.
Moving on it. But that's the thing though, like people don't think that people like women, and I can speak on behalf of women, I can't speak on behalf of men. Women who are seen as promiscuous or women who you know fucking can't say no. Like, what you saying no for? Yeah. So it's like, nah, dog, like I will when I want to. And if I don't want to, I don't want to. And again into the forcing, because that's a different conversation totally. But it's like anybody, whether it's somebody who is their first time, their second time, could they be their millionth time, could be with the same person, could be with a different person, then whenever you figure that is right for you, is right for you. And if it's not, it's not. Man too, because some man doesn't want to be, for whatever the reasons, they don't want to fuck today, or they don't want to fuck at this point, or they don't want to fuck you. And that's okay too. And it's equally as stupid when the girl be like, why not? You know, it's fair to them too. If they don't want to, they don't want to. When they think it's the right time, it's also the right time for them. Respect for respect, big man thing. Like, is whenever.
Stop pressuring men to have sex with you. Like that's
Definitely
disrespectful.
Yeah, like we have to stop coming out. Like it's not just the guys, women do it. Maybe not as much, but we still have that. Like you can't just be stripping in a man's bed and decide that y'all fucking just cause. Stop doing that. Respect each other.
The same
like
way.
Consent.
Definitely the same way that we want them to kind of like figure out if it's okay. Figure out if it's okay.
Figure it out, girl.
They have
exactly.
Pull their hair a little bit now. But I mean that's.
And girls, don't be doing this thing of like something wrong with he if you're not trying to do something. How many times I've heard that? I'm like, stop. Or is something wrong with me if you're not trying? Like, no, maybe the man just being patient, wants to do his thing. Like,
nothing wrong
let
with
it go.
Nothing wrong with you.
And
nothing wrong with the conversation. And have the conversation, because if you're not having the conversation,
that's important. You know, I think sometimes the conversation is the hardest part because sometimes we don't want to hear our own voice, and we're also afraid of how the person would receive what we have to say.
And besides that is also the rejection. So like if you're being real, it's hard to get rejected, right? So if you're telling,
it's also hard to catch a court case. So
That is true, but I mean, it's hard to get rejected for a man. It's hard to get rejected for a woman because he don't want to fuck, or and you're like, well, what's wrong with him? And then the group chat. You understand?
True.
So yeah.
The fact that you said that just brings me to, okay, so something that you said brought this to mind. You don't want to fuck, the conversation, all of that, right now we having sex. Let's just say we at that point we having sex. Are we now in a relationship? Do we wait until we are in a relationship to have sex? Do we, once we start having sex, are we in a relationship? How do we determine that we are in a relationship? Because we just went on this amazing first date. How do we now get from we talking, we check in, we going out with friends and having drinks from each other's cup, and maybe we spitting in each other's mouth, whatever the case is. How do I know understand? Just let it roll. How do I know understand? Okay, you are my human being and I am now your human being. Like, there's a child in the back with their hand up.
Hi, Miss. My name is Giselle.
Hi, Giselle. Tell us.
I just wanted to say if you could take more of the register for this question, because based on the recent experiences, I don't know.
Put up your hand to say, I don't know.
Definitely put up myself. Definitely put up my hand to say I don't know. Because
listen, Giselle, no. This is not me judging you. I would like to put up my hand too and
take
say,
yourself out too.
I also do not
know.
Well, I mean, I really feel it's only B that could answer that, because.
Well, let me be devil's advocate here, right? Who say? I know y'all not gonna like my question. Actually, I don't think y'all would care. Who say that means you're going into a relationship?
Nobody.
I mean, how do we know?
Nobody.
Otherwise, I
you
would
have a conversation. If you say we just doing thing,
Ayana, you want to be my girlfriend? Yes or no? Or does he send me he report a piece of his exercise book?
Isn't it check yes, check no?
You like me? Tick yes.
Oh you God, don't ask that.
You want to be my girlfriend? Tick yes or tick no. Is that how we do it? Do we actually have a conversation around those boxes?
I think, well, there's Giselle gone and shot herself. Huh? Anywho, I think no matter what.
Somebody go on resuscitate Giselle.
Yeah.
Let me get the rose for. Let me get the rose for.
Get the rose.
I mean, I think if we can be adults, which I know is sometimes hard for us to be, me personally speaking for myself, regardless, there should be a conversation. There should be like, this thing happened. Are we just doing thing? Cool, great, goodbye. See you at the next fete. See you at the next line. If we're not, and we're trying to be closer, please act like you're my man in public. Thank you very much. You don't have to be clingy. You don't do nothing, but please claim me as your girl and I will claim you as my man. And if we not, do not get butthurt when I go off with another man or female.
Excuse me, don't get what?
Butthurt.
Butthurt, like your butt.
Don't get swings in your pussy.
Exactly. Separate it. Just a conversation. Exactly. Simply said, a conversation.
Yeah, you
as a single.
And it can be complicated.
Like, we've now had sex like twice. Like, are we going to be together? It has to be very reasonable. It has to be very, like, sound mind. Don't put all your cards on the table. Just say, going forward, we've now had relations so many times, are we dating each other exclusively? Are we working towards a relationship? Are we just going to do this, if we are friends with benefits? Like, what is it that we're doing? I've had to have the conversation with guys because, like, Y'all know
Because they
me.
be acting like your man in public and not clarifying things.
Let me tell you, I had a guy that I was sleeping with, we were friends, and he would have a problem that I was sleeping with someone else. And I'm like, I'm telling you that I love you. You don't want me. So what I'm gonna do, just sit down there and wait for you to come around and like say that you want me back? Nah, I fucking somebody else. And you too, because you know the vibe's
Pew
nice.
pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
We have 2 hands being raised. One? No,
Just
there's one
one.
pew
That
and
one
one hand
there.
being raised.
Yams.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, what sorts of things are
No,
we just fucking things?
no,
What sorts of things are we are friends with benefits things? What sorts of things are relationship things? And what sorts of milestones can be considered? Okay, this relationship has changed gears. Something is happening. These are specific questions because I am honestly confused.
Enter
I mean,
Giselle.
listen, I love this conversation. I'm really just
Love
asking
it.
our listeners. Our listeners want to know, how do we know when it's time to have that conversation? How do we know which box we have intentionally or inadvertently placed ourselves in?
Upon insertion.
Giselle.
Giselle
Bahar,
is just being my cheerleader. I don't know if she's answering.
I wanted to answer, but Bahar, what did you say?
Nothing,
Upon
please.
insertion?
Please.
You
No,
know
please
what?
tell us.
We will go back.
It's the butt
I know
hurt
Bahar
part
said.
of the butt hurt and insertion that all goes together.
No,
or
no,
that-
no. That's the wrong insertion. Wrong side.
Okay.
Continue, Giselle.
Nah, like I know she asks questions. So you're asking what are friends with benefits things, right? To me, friends with benefits things, and I want people to listen. Women listen, and man, please listen, right? Friends with
They don't
benefits
listen.
things.
Them?
Y'all are cool. Y'all are brethren and sisters. Your lime is not awkward. You can openly say hi to each other, hug each other, talk to each other, whatever. There is sneaky link on the side. Y'all could fuck. Y'all in public. Y'all could say hi. You don't have to be stick on to each other and all of that. That's friends with benefits. Y'all are friends because y'all could lime together, right? You don't always have to, but you can. You could fuck on the side because that's the point. And then you could be like regular in public. Let me just preface this. Well, not preface this, not post.
All right. Everybody agree with what just said?
That's what
No.
you
'Cause
don't
look,
think that
No,
no, no, no.
No, but
Oh,
that's for you.
okay.
That's for you, and maybe that's for
can.
other people. But you know, from you, I mean, y'all would know, as I've said it before.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
But
Don't
is
talk
that
to
a
me.
friends with benefits or is that a
Yeah.
sneaky link? Because that's
Because
different.
because I know myself, right? I know myself,
Mm.
and I know I'm emotional, and if I start to like you, and if I already like you as a friend, and I start to like you because we're doing things, I go be in personal problems. So I just tell them, man, listen, don't link me to talk. I don't want to be chummy with you. We could go online. That's not a problem. We can line. We can hang
So
out.
what you're saying is you cannot do friends with benefits. You could do a sneaky link. So
No,
it's
no, I
not
can't
that
do
what
friends with
Jiz
benefits.
is saying is incorrect. It's just that that model wouldn't
It's
work.
not my type of friends with benefits. My type of friends with benefits does not include us
A friendship.
speaking regularly or anything like that. That's not for me
Okay.
because I can't personally do it. So that's what
I get
it's
you.
always a conversation. So like that could be your friends with benefits, but it won't be for me. I'm down to hang out. I'm down to lime, but like we know what's going on after, But don't call me and
Definitely.
I'll catch feelings. I have time for
No,
that.
like I platonic party. So call me.
Party needs to
Call me.
Okay, but let's not lose track. Now, Jiz, that was the first point that you made, and Rohan responded. Now, the next part of your point, because I feel like
After friends, after friends and benefits is what again? Do you remember?
So I was asking,
Talking.
I was asking, how do you know when the conversation needs to be had? How do you know when you've crossed the line where we need to decide what box I fit into? Are we friends with benefits? Are we in a relationship, or are we like just two people that fuck? And like, basically, how do you know when you are in a relationship, or how do you know when you are in a cruise ship?
Okay. Right. So for me, because you specifically asked
The
when,
love boat.
what
Cruise
is
ship.
a cruise? Soon we'll be making another run.
All right.
Wow,
Sorry, Jizzy. Go ahead.
we are old people's children, right? But in any case,
Texas Ranger.
there is the question of what makes friends with benefits when, and now it's like when you know. For me, right? The time that I have to think about, it's like, all the time you're thinking about the person because you're attracted or you like it, and that's normal, that's fine for regular people. Me, when I start to now think, and then I have that feeling on the inside, like when I see them and thing, and I know that I like them more than the average human being, and it's making me feel some way to talk to other people that like me, or it making me feel some way to see you talking to other people that probably like you, then I know that my feelings are caught, right? And so naturally, for any normal thinking human being, it would be right to have a conversation. That's any normal human being, but not Giselle. I am, by all counts, afraid to initiate that conversation. And that is as vulnerable as I can be. I am afraid to initiate that conversation. And it's not about rejection for me. You can tell me you don't like me, that's fine. But you see, when you see me, you tell me that you don't want something, or if you see me react to an answer or response that's not favorable, or it does not align or anything, just the seeing my reaction, that's the problem for me. I don't want you to see that it's a big deal for me. You understand? Like that is it for me. Like you don't need to, if you don't want me, that's fine. But you see, if you see the disappointment in my face there, or even if it's for a second, that doesn't resonate. That don't resonate with me. Even if you know I like you and you like me back, I don't want you to see that. I don't want you to see that. I don't want you to see that. But by right, it should be when you feel something, or you realize that you really like this person more than, and it's not just about the sex, because some people are just for the sex, and that's okay. Right? But when you realize that the sex is not the only thing, like you want to spend time with them, you want to hold their hand, you want to, go to dinner, you want to cook, you want to do this, you want to do that, and you realize that, and then that is the time then that I would think to have the conversation. I just personally can't initiate it. And when I do, Lord God, thumbs up, yes?
You never put your thumbs up again in life, eh?
I know that. I've
If
said that
anybody
already.
has anything they want to add to what Giselle has already explained, because I would like to add another layer and again be devil's advocate.
Oh Lord, go ahead. Bring it home.
Okay.
Advocate for the devil, eh?
I'm advocating for the devil because I like an asshole, right? So Satan is an asshole, so he must be a charming.
Let me drink, bro.
All right, so we have identified all of the cues and we have addressed them as needed. We have stated our claim. So we took the leap of faith. We jumped all the way out of our physical beings and into our heavens and transcended and decided to commune in spirit with this verbally.
Anna full of shit.
follow. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Real full of shit.
Plain talk. You got over yourself. You recognize that you were catching feelings. You realize that we have reached a point where I need to speak my truth. I need to ask a couple questions, or I need to just make a statement just so that we all clear on our trajectory. And you have done that. And this man has said to you, Baha, I think you are a beautiful woman, gorgeous, intelligent, sexy, a fucking badass. But I don't want you.
Sorry.
Pussy on a regular, but I don't want you to be my girl. Audience, our internet is not broken. We are not frozen. We are actually experiencing dead ass silence right now. What do you do once you have revealed your feelings and this man has expressed his desire to not be with you? Next
That's not
steps.
for me. That's not for me. So go on. And not as it's not a disrespectful thing. I like you to a point where I want to be with you. I want to be the only woman in the yard, and I want you to be the only man in my yard. So I don't necessarily want what you want. And we have to be honest with what we want. It cannot be, I'm going to sit here and wait until he wants me back. Do not do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to be very unhappy. You're going to be very bitter in a month or two. If you don't want that, say, listen, I really like you. I would have really preferred if we did this situation. But if that's what you want and I want this, we're not in the same, we're not aligning. So therefore, we have to go our separate ways. I still love you as a person. You're still my people's. We could find a way to find a different relationship that works for us. But I'm not going to type myself for you to bring somebody else around at some point, and then all of a sudden my feelings down in the bottom of my big toe. That makes sense.
Giselle, your hand was up.
Yeah, my hand was up, but I prefer to hear what Bahar has to say because I come in with a devil's advocate on the side too.
I also have another layer to add to this after y'all both give me a
It's a fucking
Are
onion.
you an onion?
Onion.
Listen,
Hi,
tonight,
Fred.
bitch,
I know.
I am out here to clear sinuses.
Sorry. That was a very
please.
I mean, I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like we know though, going into that conversation. And so this is where I think the conversation needs to happen with yourself first. Because I'm also very big on ego. Like, I'm just like, I'm not about to split all my feelings if I know one inkling that this guy is not about it. So that's where I have the conversation with myself first in my shower, while I'm driving, while I'm sitting in my room, whatever it is, with all of y'all. But I mean, I'm not having that conversation anymore. I'm engaged. But y'all know, I'm not putting myself in that position because I feel like we know.
I'm engaged.
Yeah. But I'm saying we know. I do think we know. I think going into the conversation, we know that's going to happen. What needs to happen is that you need to be prepared for with your response. And the response from me is like, I good? Pieces, deuce. No, nothing like that. I'm just kidding. But no, I think, yeah, just as Rohan said, like it can't be that then. It can't be we carrying on with the same type of relationship we were when one person's feelings are overflowing versus the next one, right? And so for me, I know personally that would be very painful for me to see, and it has happened where painful for me to see that person walk in with another girl one day, right? And knowing that I still haven't overcome those feelings that I've had, and putting myself in a position of, because it's also easy, right? We could say, oh, we cut off. How many times has that person come back and in your ear and you back in the bed? Right? I'm saying.
Why be talking to me?
So that is where you decide, I had that convo with myself. I know what's going to happen. I'm prepared for it. but you need to then be good to yourself and make sure that you do not go back into some pattern. It ain't easy. We all do it. We've all been there 100 times or so, probably even more. But you have to be good to yourself. That's where that is coming from. Like, why put yourself in a position, or like, now the man has stated? Because I think some people go into like, oh, I could change his mind. Maybe if we hang out more, maybe if we keep doing what we're doing, I'm gonna change his mind. The man has fully blown onto it, and it's not his fault. If he's saying that, he's saying that. You're gonna get upset, but at least he said that. But it's on you to now change your behavior, because they're gonna take it. They're gonna take. If you keep doing what you're doing, they're gonna take it.
With you, Baha.
Yeah. So those are my 2 cents.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And there's an element of it that we forget, that we also are contributing to the conversation. And I think also even the guys who figure that they if they take the stance that because not all men lie, we have to give them that credit. Some of them are extremely honest, and we're the ones that put ourselves in certain positions, right? But a lot of them use honesty as a strategy also. Like, let me be 1,000% transparent so that we're real cool. And in using the honesty, it also is a way of manipulating the situation. There are different ways that you can look at it, you know, and yeah. But yeah. Let me not. I'm trying to
I like my friend.
yeah, but there's something I was gonna say, but you know, I'm gonna circle back.
Before you circle back, I just wanted to say that there are probably a lot of girls or women listening that thinking because they're staying around to wait, they stupid, because we basically saying you shouldn't. Ma'am, miss, or even a sir, because they have fellas who do the same thing. You understand? If the person is saying that they don't want you and you're choosing to stay around and that's what you're choosing to do, we are not talking down to you, right?
Mhm.
We are basing it on our own experiences and the experiences of each other and of our friends, right? If that's what you choose to do and that's what you think that you should do, by all means. But we're just telling you to know your worth, right? Whether
Mhm.
man, whether woman. You understand? If it's because somebody is literally looking you in the eye and telling you that they don't want you, maybe that's the reality of them. If you truly believe that they don't know what they want and you want to wait around, that's all well and good. I telling you, if you could get something still, get some. So you had to eat a doubles before you had a big lunch. Eat a doubles, eat 2 doubles, eat a triple, eat a quadruple if you have two, sweethearts, if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to and you want to wait, that's what we are not talking nonsense in any way. We just have these conversations all the time. And we saying that for us, sir, if you're telling me you don't like my dog, ideally we know and we good, but we fall into those traps all the time. I could say that I have fallen into that trap before. I probably am going to fall into that trap tomorrow. um Ayana, trap in it, trap house, Rohan,
I am the trap.
trapezium, and well,
Thank
of
you.
course, B, she fell into the ultimate trap, which is marriage very soon. We love that trap. That is the goal trap.
Listen,
That's
marriage
the
is a
goal
goal
trap.
trap for many reasons, which we probably discuss at a later date.
Mhm.
But just, I'm
Of
happy
course.
that you said that because I totally agree. I think often we also forget the other side of not just am I worthy of this person, which is often the conversation that we have. Why isn't this person picking me? But honestly, if you ask yourself, if it is that I have to convince this person of my worth, if it is that I have to convince this person of what it is, I mean, it's pretty obvious already that I'm a badass bitch, but if I still have to convince you, then are you actually worthy of me? And I'm just using myself as a hypothetical example. If it is that I have to convince you of my value, then do I want you? You know, when you finally come on board, am I going to look at you as someone that deserves me, someone that recognized who I was, or someone that kind of waited for the fans to show up and for the hype to run on board because no, this person is something that everybody else wants. So no, I'm just jumping on because, now she is trending, or, whatever the case is. If it is that I have to convince you to want me, I already don't want you because you are not able to on your own recognize my value. I am not trying to debate my value to anyone. No, fuck you if you can't see that.
Can you repeat that?
Fuck you if you
Not,
can't see that.
no, I'm
No, I
not
don't want
trying
to
to
debate.
debate
I
My
my.
don't
value.
need to debate my value to anyone. If it is that I need to, yes, there's the conversation about telling someone that I see you in this light and I want you to fulfill this role in my life. Like I see you as someone that I could consider my equal or my almost equal, maybe my 49% or my 48%, whatever it is your dynamic is, because you also need to figure out what your dynamic is. If I recognize you as that person, and then now I need to go through a series of slideshows and presentations to now sell myself to you, then fuck you respectfully, because if you could not see that on your own, then you obviously are not deserving of me. That being said, we're not telling women to go out there and be hard and fast. I personally believe in pouring love into every situation and understanding people's individual life experiences and traumas, and also understanding that as women we have an advantage for expression of our emotions that a lot of our guy counterparts don't have as an outlet. So also there's a softness that you have to bring, there's a level of understanding that you have to bring, there's a level of asking the right questions and really just observing that person and observing how they've grown up, how they've been socialized, how they communicate, how they express love, because also it can be an issue of miscommunication, that they're speaking a language that you have not yet learned, and maybe you need to learn their language, and maybe they're sending you cues and communicating in a way that you don't understand. So it's also up to you to make sure that you do your due diligence and are not acting and speaking out of ignorance. Yeah, so pour love into every situation and don't be a bitch, but also recognize that there is a time and a place to be a bitch. And when you've come to that point, then activate your bitch ass Power Ranger self and throw that nigga in the trash.
Go
And
Power
we need
I-
a trash song. We need a trash song,
do,
yo.
do, 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 do,
No, like a whoosh, no,
yeah, like a
foil, yeah, like
yeah.
And
foil.
that is my 2 cents.
That was a
Mhm.
dollar.
It was a dollar bill, but it really does make sense. Yeah, I don't have nothing else to say. But this goes for men and women. People, I think we forget, and I think people forget as well, because we talk so much shit against man all the time in our daily lives. We love all you, but still, you know, um, fellas, this is for you too. Like this for you too. You gotta know your worth too. It's going to come off to some women as whatever, but still, it's for you too, because you're deserving king just as we deserving too. Like I truly believe that. Like it's not
Absolutely.
even a joke. I'm not saying that because I want people to follow us or nothing. I truly believe that I have very good male friends that go through the
Same.
same things that we go through, right? The same things that we talk about, they come to us and they talk to us about. And fam, yeah, I don't know your word, because real woman just play like they doesn't want, yeah. As a woman who just play like she doesn't want, yeah. Real woman doesn't play as they do, like they just play like they don't want you, yeah. And that's okay. That's
Some of them are
okay.
mean
Like,
about it though.
and they mean about it.
Mean
So
about
tell
it.
them rock
So
so
that's
and go
that's when I
about it.
tell like my close male friends, like, bruh, like you deserve, like I know the person you are, and I know you deserve a whole lot more than you're getting. So like, don't waste time. On to the next immediately. Forget she.
Immediate, not even
Immediately.
immediate, immediately.
How them Belgian would say
No. Not me and them. Not tonight. Not tonight on the podcast, please and thanks.
Also, for our US friends, a Bajan is a Barbadian.
A person from Barbados, from the beautiful island. Yeah.
Google it.
Big up all here. Big up all here.
Okay, so if you haven't been listening to our podcast, please go check out our episode 1 and our episode 2. And also we have launched our YouTube, so there is video to this and all our other audio. Please check it out. Please leave a review. Please follow us. Share with all of your friends. Maybe don't share with your mommy, but share with your
I
friends.
share with my mommy.
Don't share with my mommy.
Don't share with my mommy unless your name is Giselle, aka a sellout. Then she would share with my mommy.
I feel like your name should just be AKA at this point, because
I feel like that's what they had to call me, because Giselle AKA everything.
yeah.
Giselle AKA everything. Right? So cool. Thanks. Akak. Akak. Akak.
Okay, but seriously, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow our personal pages. Check out our fishbowl. You can always go in and leave your comments there. You can make suggestions for topics that we can talk about. You can share your dating stories with us, the good, the bad, the in-between, the cringe. Listen, this is a safe space. We will not judge you out loud.
Thank you, because I'm like, it's not totally safe, Dan, because we still stuck back to homegirl with the date with the fedora.
We will tell you honestly.
We'll just make sure leave names out.
We will talk to you. You are our friend, and the type of friends that we are, we're not selling your cat and bag. We will tell you exactly as it is. So, talk to us. We will talk to you, girl. Give us all the tea. We already know niggas ain't shit. So ain't nothing you could tell us that we gonna be surprised about. But also to my guy friends, we also know that these hoes ain't shit either. So, tell us too.
We here for you guys. This is a safe space. We're going to talk shit about your gender, but you specifically, we could.
Let's cut it out.
Yeah,
Cool.
People.
Bye, we had to go because B had to go.
I had to go. I gotta pee. That's all.
But